Okay guys, I just thought of something that I kind of want to do, but it's going to be a ton more work. But I think in the end it's going to be worth it. We're going to use the bead roller, and I think we're going to try to make a custom dash, and I'll show you why. All right, so like you guys have seen, of course, we went through all the struggle of filling in the holes and doing all that stuff. That might all be for naught, because this dash is essentially flat, and I can cut the flat part out and make a new face for this with the bead roller. All right, so right here we have these two panels. I've never cared for those. I don't know why. They just kind of seem out of place, and that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. We have the opportunity right now to basically just reskin this dash and make it better than it was. So the challenge is certainly on me. I have literally bead rolled one panel, and you guys saw that. But, you know, why not try? I've got the primer on the way for the cab. That'll actually be here, I think, tomorrow. So it's kind of now or never. So let's start making a template and see if this works. Ta-da! Just get all of our layout for the actual holes that we're going to cut. And that way we'll be a step ahead. We'll know where everything goes, or at least where the things that are remaining are going to go. Also, we're going to do a rough sketch once we finish here. We're going to do a rough sketch of how I want this to be with pencil. And that way, you know, if I don't like something, we can just do something different. Okay, perfect. Now that we've got this all templated out, now we need to come in here and mark our holes and cut those out. We just need this one and the glove box door. First thing I'm going to do is just put a crease in. All right, that's cut out for the instrument cluster. Now we'll go over here and get the glove box door cut out. Now we're going to peel this off. We're going to put it on the steel, trace it out, and cut it. We'll use the plasma cutter to cut that. It'll be a lot faster. Well, crap. Looks like my metal sheet isn't quite big enough, but you know what? That's okay, because I don't think my bead roller is big enough to do all that in one piece. So we are going to fold the template in half, cut it, and then just boop, make two pieces. traced out on there. We're gonna fire up the plasma cutter and cut these out. Well, that's a nice little dagger there, huh? I'll have to remind myself not to cut myself on it. Now that we got these pieces cut out, we can start laying out our pattern for the bead roll. So I guess we'll go ahead and do that. Now we'll cut these out and we'll have our pattern. Kind of looks like a deer print. Okay. So there you have it. Here is our stencil. Now we're going to be able to mark all these out onto the metal with the marker, and then we'll have a guide for throwing it in the bead roller. We're going to do it 1/2 at a time because the bead roller is only an 18-inch. So we'll do it half at a time. We'll get those done, and let's go ahead and get that set up. You know, all things considered, for my very first bead rolling job, I think it turned out pretty good. There's a couple, little wobblies here and there, but geez, for the most part, I'm happy. Now all we need to do is tack this thing back together, kind of straighten her out a bit. Okay, it's time for the first test fit. See how we did. Well, I'd say that's pretty close. There we go. Okay, let's fire up the welder and tack that in. Okay, well, here we go. We got everything on the top welded up. What this needs now is a final sand to make everything nice and smooth. We got the sides ground down for the most part, bottom's all welded up, except for here. I need to cut the opening out for the glove box. We also have to cut it out here for the instrument cluster. We'll get that. But we need to cut that out so we can actually weld under here, because there's no room to weld once you get that out. So we'll get that cut out, weld it up, get it all nice and clean, get everything finish sanded, and then we can put a layer of primer on, a nice self-etching primer, and then do our body work over it. It's going to need a little bit. I mean, it's a completely manufactured panel. I think we lost a little bit of the detail down here where it got welded, so we're going to build that up with a little bit of filler, and that's okay. Don't ever assume your metal's clean before you paint. Always make sure. Now we're going to use a little bit of self-etching primer to cover this before we start with the body filler. Well, all right, fam, here we go. As you can see, we need a couple more layers. We got a little bit of touch-up going on. All in all, it turned out pretty darn good. Not bad for first time doing anything this drastic. Not looking too bad. Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for this week. You can see we came a long way. I do have a little bit of touch up to do here, and there's some little pieces here and there that we got to touch up. We need another coat at least on the dash itself. And then these inside pieces are going to be painted the same way that we did with the fake wood here. So that's just going to add another dimension to it. So I guess we will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.